So again, we're in the book Let Me Be a Free Man, a documentary history of Indian resistance. And this is part one of the book, The Conquest, 1607 to 1890. It says here the Powhatan Indians were a farming people who raised corn, tobacco, and a variety of other crops. So who's raising corn and tobacco? Tobacco, the Powhatan Indians, right? So when they show you, these images of so-called Negroes, in the fields, in the tobacco fields, right? Then you know who really it is. All right. It says King Powhatan, why should you destroy us? The first English colony in the New World was established in Jamestown, Virginia in 1607 as a profit-making enterprise by London's Joint Stock Company. All right. A what? A company for profit-making, an enterprise, a joint stock company. And we already know from the past videos who was involved in this joint stock company. And let's include King James, or the Duke of York in this. As he was known also, the Duke of York, King James. All right. The colony's founders were restless men, hungry for land, hungry for your land. So-called Negroes, American Indians, they wanted your land, hungry for land and economic gain. The Powhatan Indians of the Virginia coast brought corn and tobacco to the colonists in the hope of establishing friendly relations. Their gifts were accepted, and for a time Indians and whites lived together in peace. But because of the white man's greed, this peace did not last. Tobacco, which the Indians used for ceremonial purposes, was seen as a source of profit by the colonists. Again, who was using tobacco for ceremonial purposes? The Powhatan Indians. And what did the colonists say? Yo, we can make money off of that. All right. As their rapidly expanding tobacco plantations used up the soil, the colonists took over the Indians' fields, pushing the natives aside to enlarge their country estates. The English seized ever larger tracts of Indian land. All right. So whose fields were they? They were the Indians' fields. What fields? Tobacco fields. So you see all these images showing fields of tobacco and an Indian, a so-called Negro, right? American Indian holding or farming it, right? They're showing that you were the one planting. This was your fields, your tobacco fields, all right? You already had them before the colonists came. You already planted this. You had plantations of your own, all right? And they're telling you right here, they took over that. They saw something positive here for them financially, and so they wanted to make money. They just, kept you to working it. When they took over, they just kept you growing it. They didn't bring no other Africans or other people that never knew about tobacco. Tobacco's a plant native to America. All right, that's an American plant. So how can somebody come from across the continent, right, across the ocean, and start growing it all of a sudden, right? But we know they were just depicting you, your ancestors. This was your field, all right? They pushed you aside. They said pushing the natives aside. They took over your fields. The colonists took over the Indian fields, pushing the natives aside to enlarge their country estates. The English seized ever larger tracts of Indian land. The leader of the Powhatan tribe was Chief Wahunsonacock, whom the English colonists dubbed King Powhatan. All right, so his name, Wahunsonacock. Wahun, Au, Wahu, Ahua, Wahua, Wahasonacock, Wahunsonacock, whom the English colonists dubbed King Powhatan. Long before the arrival of the colonists, the powerful chief had forged a confederacy of some 30 tribes. Now he pledged to resist the colonists' encroachment. When the English threatened to use force to drive the Indians from their homeland, King Powhatan made this plea: "Why should you take by force from us that which you can obtain by love? Why should you destroy us who have provided you with food? What can you get by war? I am not so simple as not to know that it is better to eat good meat, be well, and sleep quietly with my women and children, to laugh and be merry with the English, and be in their friend, to have copper hatchets and whatever else I want." Alright, seems he wanted peace. He didn't want to fight. Unfortunately, the peaceful coexistence King Powhatan hoped for was not to be. Once the young colony of Jamestown was on its feet, its founders sought to banish the Indians who had helped them survive in the early years. They turned their backs on you. When the white man's threats became bolder, the Indians retaliated, fighting for what was theirs. But the colonists met force with even greater force, and by the time the wars ended, thousands of the Powhatan Indians had been annihilated.